Anybody seen that one yet? Just me and Portia? It's pretty intense. If you go see it, make sure you're very familiar with the previous one, Rogue Nation, because this is actually a sequel. So we're going to conclude our series at the movies, and this is the sixth Mission Impossible movie. And Ethan Hunt in this has to deal with some negative consequences or the fallout of some decisions that he's made. And so as I was thinking about what that means, anybody ever done something and then you had to deal with the consequences and then it was kind of hard? Anybody? Yeah. We've done something and then we have to deal with consequences. And so I feel like I'm about to feedback. Is that just in my head? It's just in my head? Okay. So tonight as we finish this series, I want us to consider what we would do if we had to live with some circumstances that we didn't necessarily want. Okay? And so this is the question. Will you choose to live your life well? When you're faced with something difficult, when what you think your life should be, the direction you think it should go, is dramatically changed, will you choose to live your life well? And so to help us consider that question, I actually, instead of talking to you about, a lot of stuff really, I have just very few notes, but I want us to see a little short mini movie. Some of you guys said, are we going to watch a movie tonight? And I said, yes, because this is like a mini movie. And it's about two people named Jay and Catherine Wolf. And Mel actually got to see these people at a big premier jewelry convention. There were thousands of people there, and they asked these two people to come and talk to all these women and some husbands about what happens when life doesn't go with a direction you think, that when the fallout you have to deal with is a lot different than what you ever expected, and a choice to, will you choose to live your life well? So this video is about 12 minutes long. You guys all with me for 12 minutes? Addie's still got some popcorn, so we're good. So we're going to dim the lights here and then watch this. You guys ready? That is the challenge. When I was watching that video, I was struck by Jay's statement that he said that we would choose to suffer well, to wait well, to hope well. And, you think about those things. None of us want to suffer. None of us want to wait. We don't want to live only in hope. But he said not just to, accept that those things are going to happen, but to do them well. And that was a challenge to me. And then when Catherine said, will you choose to show this messed up world what it means to be about the tough stuff? See, she could have taken a birth defect that radically altered the course of her life. She was a model. Her husband was a lawyer. They're living in LA. They, have like this ideal life. And then this small little aneurysm in her brain changes everything, right? And she could have in that moment said, man, why did God allow this to happen in my life, and turned away from God. But instead, she turned toward God. And that's really the difference right there, is that when the fallout of life comes, when the difficulty comes your way, you can choose to run from God or to embrace God. But when you embrace God, because he knows every aspect of your life, because he knows every possible outcome of the choices that you make, then we can grow in Jesus no matter what. And then not only do we grow, but we can cause that growth in other people if we choose to show them what it is to go through the tough situations of life well, because we're trusting in Jesus. And as we close tonight, I want you to look at this passage. She quoted, I think, a passage out of Ephesians 4, and then she quoted something out of Corinthians where where Paul's talking about that these bodies aren't our own, I think is what she was referring to. But as I was preparing, I came across this passage in Colossians chapter 1, verses 9 through 12. And he said, for this reason, we also, from the day we heard about you, have not ceased praying for you and asking God to fill you with the knowledge of his will and all spiritual wisdom and understanding, so that you may live worthily of the Lord and please him in all respects, bearing fruit in every good deed, growing in the knowledge of God, being strengthened with all power according to his glorious might, for the display of all patience and steadfastness, joyfully giving thanks to the Father who has qualified you to share in the saints' inheritance in the light. And that verse clearly tells us that it is God who qualifies us to live in his kingdom, right? There's nothing that we can do. There's no amount of good deeds. There's no amount of right that we can do. We can't earn our salvation. It's only a qualification that God gives us, right? And because it comes from him, then our challenge is to say that I want to live up to the standard that he's called me to. I want to live a life that is worthy of that qualification. And so the question then is, will you choose to live worthily no matter what happens? Will you choose to live your life well? That's the real question I want to leave you guys with tonight. Will you choose to live your life well? See, this is a brand new school year, first full day of school. I don't think we have any Northern Heights or America's people with us tonight. They don't start till like tomorrow or next week or something. I don't know. They start later than you even. But here's your first full day of school today, right? So you have a whole year of school ahead of you, and some of you are like, ugh. And some of you are like, yes, right? Maybe not many of you are like, yes, but some of you might be. I don't know. Most of you are probably like, I don't really want to do it. So you don't know what this year has to hold. Our teachers are excited maybe about the year. Erica's excited. Terry's excited about a year, especially now that her classroom's ready, right? Not having to work a million hours in the heat to get it done. But here's the thing. You have a whole year ahead of you. It might be a year full of really awesome stuff, but it might be a year that you experience some really cruddy stuff. And the choice is, no matter if it's really good or really bad, will you choose to live your life well? There's a song by a band that I've been listening to, and that one of the lines in one of their songs says, we all want the roses, but never count the thorns. Sometimes we want the beautiful things in life, and we don't think about the pain that it might take to get those things, right? But my challenge to you is this year to make a commitment to live your life well, no matter what. Take a lesson from Jay and Catherine. I couldn't imagine that level of challenge. But their experience is embrace God, hold on to Jesus, look to the one who is the author and the finisher of your faith, and trust that whatever he places in front of you, he's going to give you strength to go through if you stay with him, if you walk with him, if you live your life well, right? So what I want to do tonight is I want to have all of you students kind of gather up around here, and as a staff, the youth staff are going to come. We're going to surround you guys. So I want you just to kind of huddle up right in here so we can kind of circle up around you, and we're going to pray for you as we start a new school year.